Hello, you gorgeous beings, and it is an absolute joy and a pleasure to be here with you this week. I have lit a candle because I felt like it. And I'm very, very high at the moment on joy. And I had just huge waves of gratitude and appreciation, excuse me, and thanks for every single one of you. And I mean you listening here now. I just want to say thank you from my heart to yours. For every single word, every single card, even if it's 10 seconds of something that you snatch, or you catch, that gives you something, or that you find valuable, or anything. It just means the absolute world to me. I can't even... The internet is such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And I held a women's circle today in Mexico. And it was just a friend of mine just holds a circle for women to meet, and she invited me to just kind of share. And so I just shared and then gifted whatever I could through the cards. And it was an extremely beautiful experience, but a very different experience to working with you. And I'm so blessed and grateful that I'm able to share with you, and that there are ears that can hear and eyes that can see. And I really, really just appreciate you massively on this week of Thanksgiving, which isn't a holiday in the UK where I'm from, but it is a beautiful holiday, and one that has been in my life and is part of my life here in Mexico with lots of friends from the United States. And I wasn't well, and so I really didn't get to experience it on the day, but I had lots of people bring me their leftovers, and that was lovely. And yeah, so I'm going to be doing some oracle cards this week as a bit of an extra. And yes, until 10 AM Eastern Standard Time, Monday, tomorrow morning, or Monday the 27th, I am running a half-price special on individual readings. So the link is below. I think there are a few slots left. If you want that. And let's just see what's going on with these cards. Page of Swords. Wow, that's interesting. I just felt like the Page of Swords wanted to say a little mini message to be careful this week. I can already feel as though I feel like the logic is coming back into our experience in a powerful way. Thought, logic, the intellect, cognitive understanding, thinking, thoughts in alignment with our intuitive, inspired state. But they may seem a little offensive to others. And that needn't mean that they're aggressive, but it's that they may be out of the ordinary. The clarity that we have might be out of the ordinary, might be a little, and the word is offensive. And so it's just to be a little bit aware of that. Excuse me. Okay, Knight of Pentacles, bottom of the deck. This is super interesting. This is something that's came up during the Women's Circle, actually. I gave a reading to a lovely young lady here, and a little kind of mini reading, and she was going through a kind of an awakening, and she wanted to know what her life purpose was, and we burst into tears on the revelation that her life is her purpose and always has been. And I told her, your life is your purpose, your beautiful life is, and you in this, you know. And she said, but I want to help people. I was like, do you know what what your gift you are being now in this moment to us? And she really was, you know, she couldn't deny that. And but then later on, so in her reading, the Knight of Pentacles came up, and it was about financial, practical abundance. You know, there were lots of pentacles that came up. And then later on, she told me that she doesn't let people pay for her. And this is what I feel like this, and this Knight of Pentacles was in her reading, and it suddenly made even more sense to me, because it was within the reading it said, there's money, you will work and you will achieve, you know, you will have work that you enjoy as part of your process, work that we enjoy as part of our life. But it is also about being receptive and open to receive gifts for no reason. And I feel as though this Knight of Pentacles is about being able to generously receive. And especially for the feminine at the moment, it seems to be coming through that she's in the receptive mode, or a receptive place, and that is not it's not necessarily a passive stance. It's a solid, grounded state of openness. And this is the kind of what I want to say with the hands. It's this, you know, it's some hands open to receive, you see, in the way that the Knight is trying to gift, you know, life is sending you gifts. And it is sometimes about taking action to receive, but really it's not about taking action to receive, it's about standing your ground. So it's about not backing down from your position, from everything that you've strived to work towards, but being ready to receive the gift that you are wanting, and being open and not attached to how that gift will be rewarded. I kind of want to talk about the idea of karma and how I experience it or understand it in the way that I download information and experience information. Because I had a lot of resistance around karma, because I just thought it was BS. I was like, well, you know, it's not that simple. It's not if you do wrong to a person, or like, you know, or whatever. It's a bit, I felt like it was a bit like, oh, I must be good to people because otherwise I'm going to get bad back. And I didn't enjoy that idea, because I felt like it meant that people were being inauthentic, trying to be good or trying to do good, and not allowing themselves to experience themselves as inherently good. And that allowing life to move through us, allowing God, life, love to move us is the most important thing. And that we must allow whatever happens to happen through us. And sometimes it's pretty and sometimes it's not. And so if we have this idea, I must be a good person, otherwise bad things are going to happen to me, I felt as though that idea stopped that expression, that thing from happening. But it is kind of true that you do get what you give. But for me, in my experience, everything that we give selflessly, we get back 1,000,000-fold. Every time. It's a bit like if you give a selfless dollar, if you are able to be connected to life, and you would be surprised how difficult it is to give a selfless dollar, you know. And selfless means there's nothing really happening other than it's happening. There's no self attached to it. There's no self even attached to be receiving karma, to be giving, you know. There's nothing happening. There's no self that's part of the process. So it's just life is using you in order to, you know, do this thing. When we allow life to use us in terms of giving, the receiving is crazy. The receiving just happens, but it's not I give you $1, you give me $1. It's more like if you're waiting for that person to give you something back in return, you're going to miss out on what life wants to give you, which is give this person $1, 10 other people are going to give you $1, you know. But you're going to miss out on that experience if you keep banging on the door of the person you gave the dollar to, like, where's my dollar? And so this is the idea that life wants to gift you with a lot of abundance, but not necessarily from the avenues that you expect, or want. And it is from a loved one though as well. And it's not necessarily going to be the gift that you want either. So it's just be open to receiving from life. And don't resist what's happening. This idea of generously receiving is very important. It's as important. Be generous in your receiving. It can be, I tried to gift people things, or I tried to gift this girl something, and she struggled to receive, you know, and that was fine, but in struggling or resisting receiving from others, we do actually steal from them the experience of giving. Not steal from them. You will impede their ability to give. And so really there is no giver or receiver. It's just a movement, growth, expansion, and it is expansive. But it is important that when it is appropriate for us to receive, we do that receiving, and we are gracious in our receiving as well as our giving, which is involved in this night. The night is about the delivery and the receptivity of gifts. And on with the rest of the reading.
And watch this week's reading if you want to know how the feminine is going to become the creator of her reality in her experience, and how the masculine is going to be cutting ties with all people and relationships that are not in alignment with his highest joy. Click below and I'll see you there.